Hi, I'm making another video about the difference of 5D and 3D consciousness because people just really, God, I can't believe I'm having to make another video like this. It's kind of ridiculous. So someone posted within the last week on one of the spiritual groups, what happens to all the people left behind in 3D? First, none of us are living in 3D. That's what all this chaos is. This isn't 3D. This is 4D. So yes, everyone is ascending. We will still be on a polarized planet, but it's going to be positively polarized. It's not going to be negative. Positive polarization. So that's why I can't get behind these posts. It's like, these are the fearful, awful, nasty, hateful, negative things. If you're any of these things, you're going to be on the old planet, the 3D. No one's on the 3D planet. No one. Honestly. And then this positive, perfect, utopian, positive angle of 5D. And if you're these things, you're going to ascend. We're all ascending. We don't have to be perfect like that. And we're not ascending to 5D to be in a light body just like that. It's going to take a couple of thousand years, honestly. The replies to this post were, oh my God, awful, some of them. A lot of them were positive or neutral or, just a bit of commentary or go look at this person's or that person's idea of 3D, 5D, what's going to happen to the people left? No one's getting left behind. That's why I really don't like this. But there were comments, and this is supposed to be a group of people who are awake and, God, supposedly spiritually evolved. I can't even spit it out because it's so ridiculous. People in the comments literally just posting a skull or posting RIP. I'm like, oh my God, really? Really? Someone called them empties. What? Another person called them compost. And then another person said that they would be shoes and lampshades. And I'm like, what? How do you think that you're awake and that you're going to ascend making comments like this about people who are asleep and going to be left behind? First, neither of those things are going to carry on. Also, no one is in 3D anymore. Everyone is bare minimum 3D, 4D. Some people are on that spectrum going back and forth. I mostly hold 5D or even just high 4D because I'm not stressing about everything that's going on the planet. I don't have a lot of money right now, but I'm not panicking about it. I'm like, it'll be okay. I'm pretty high vibe most days. I can't remember the last time I had a low day. If I have a low day, I'm like, oh, I need to integrate. I've been looking at too much negative things without integrating it and making my peace with it and just seeing it as, okay, this is just a part of the process. Just forgive and just make your peace with it, and then I'm fine, and it lifts, and it's no problem. But sometimes I do need to drop back down into that energy because we are multi-dimensional, and if I drop down into that energy, I can see the 5D that I'm usually in back down into 3D. So, honestly, how can you claim to be spiritual and comment these things about people who just haven't woken up there yet? Other than the fact that is another aspect of you and you're judging them and being pretty severe, like calling them compost empties, that they're going to be made into shoes and lampshades, or just RIP and a skull face in two separate comments, two different people. I'm like, this is not 5D. I totally get it. We need to have comedy, but not about this, because we need to be there to raise these people up, to see them asleep and have compassion and respect and kindness to them, because it's not their time to wake up yet. If everyone on the planet just woke up one day, if that's how it went and it wasn't in waves, people would lose their fucking minds. Like, they would actually go insane because they wouldn't be able to handle what they're learning and the speed at which they're learning. Because I woke up in waves. I've always been spiritual. That wasn't really a wake up that I needed to have, because I was always that way. I did have to wake up about vaccines. I did have to wake up about corruption and darkness and all the red pills that you can take. So it doesn't happen in one wave. Like, when people wake up, it's a rude shock, but they have to be ready. And no one's going to wake up at the same time. Be grateful and feel honored that you get to be on the first waves of Ascension and the Great Awakening, because you could have been that person. That could have been your soul that is still asleep and elected to wait so that you could go first and pull them into the 5D. It's our job, not necessarily to force people awake, but to be here when they're ready to awaken and to help explain what's happening so that they don't go into despair and, oh my God, we are fucked, because we're not. We're good. We came here to succeed and we are doing it. You know, we are living it right now, but these narratives have got to go. Honestly, this 3D negative polarization and making fun of people who are in the 3D, they're not in the 3D. Everyone is bare minimum 3, 4D. Like, even in 5D, we're still experiencing the 3D existence. Light body activation is going to take place over thousands of years. So 5D consciousness is, we're easing into it. It's like as you move through 3D and 4D, there's a scale of within all of those, and they all overlap. And for people to be so disrespectful and just really, like, it's just really gross, honestly. Making fun of people who are still asleep, like, we wish they would wake up, but what happens if everyone just wakes up all at once? It's too much. It would be too much information, and the raising of the consciousness would happen so quickly that, yeah, people probably would die, because the energy bump up would be so fast that people don't have time to acclimate to 5D. We do not have to just ascend to 5D. You know, it's a spectrum, it's a scale, it's a vibrational, honestly, like, I'm like running out of words. But seriously, there's no need to be like that. It's not 5D mentally, emotionally, spiritually to be saying things like this. And it honestly baffles me. Like, why are you in a spiritual group if you're going to say things like that? What? You know, and honestly, I just scrolled through all the comments. The person who called them empties has deleted their comment because I think they realise how fucking disgusting that is to say. Okay, I just want to also remind people how heavy 3D is. Honestly, some days it's like you're literally being weighed down by the darkness, by the dark forces. And once you can break out of that, it's so pleasant and you don't want to go back. But you have to remember what it's like to be asleep. I think that's really as 5Ds you're going to get. You know, in some respects, you're not really 5D unless you can remember what you were like before. Because if you can't remember who you were before, how are you going to help everyone else who needs to wake up? You know, honestly, I really don't think I need to say much more because I think I've gotten the point across. There is no need to speak that way. If you want something to laugh about that's related to Ascension, find something. But don't make fun of this because that could have been you. But that spark of God has given way so that we could wake up first. We are so fucking lucky. We get to be here and be awake to witness the whole time period of humanity graduating. That is so fucking lucky. And it could have been our soul still asleep and unaware and not able to appreciate what is happening right now. Appreciate that, because that soul was like, yeah, I can wait. You go first and have that experience, and then you tell me about it afterwards. Do you know how lucky you are to be awake? To be able to witness this with your own eyes in this 3D body, but in 5D consciousness? You guys have got to step it up. If you're making these kinds of negative comments, no, it's enough. It's got to go. Seriously, if you're awake, you really need to be working on your mentality of 5D, your spirituality of 5D, your emotion of 5D. It's not enough to just be awake. And I'm not saying, oh, you won't ascend. Everyone's ascending, but this is a lesson for some people. You have got to stop judging people. It's enough. If you want some Ascension comedy, I highly recommend, as a great example, Alexa Allen. She's on YouTube. She has this awesome bit with herself and a friend. It's called Chin and Tonic, the Chins of Ascension. And it's comedy. It's fantastic. They're making fun of it. You can make fun of this, but not of people who are asleep. That's not on. So that's going to be about it from me. And I hope you've learned something. Take care. Take 3 for luck. Bye.